You're watching Life on Video.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Life on Video. Today, we're at the National Museum of the United States Air Force. Let's check it out. And now we're entering the Air Force Museum. One of the awesome things that differs this Air Force Museum from maybe your local Air Force Museum is the scenery that they build with the aircraft. You can see behind me right here, what they've done is they've placed, dirt, small plants. It's not just like an airplane in the museum, it's an actual scenery from what you would have seen if you were there on that day the Wright brothers took flight. It really just puts more context to the story, and it helps you understand a little bit more about the importance of what actually happened that day and just how, how little resources and stuff like that they actually had to go off of. I mean, they're in a dirt field trying to fly an airplane. It's awesome. Again, the scenery just puts it in perspective. You've got a downed PT-19A, and you got your crew out here checking it out, and then you got your crew chief kind of going off on your pilot right here. That's life. One of the things you also have to admire about this place is the amount of stuff that's hanging from the ceiling. Here we are on the ground, and that aircraft is just suspended from the ceiling. And then you come back over here, and you have even more suspended from the ceiling. Really nice. So now we're going to head through the years. We're going to start at 1919 and build up from there. This is very reminiscent of, Auschwitz. The walls, the texture. I mean, it's not real concrete, but it looks great. The relics from the concentration camps. The many photographs taken. In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. True words. Again, the amount of aircraft that they have in this hangar is absolutely impressive. Some more scenery to go along with this aircraft. Got the air crew up here talking, and then back here in the back you got the load crew talking. This is the B-25B. What a great display. 3 different scenes happening here. You got munitions in the back, you got bombs being loaded in the center, then you got the air crew at the front having a conversation. Great scene. This is the P-39Q. A little snow dusted. Looks beautiful though. This is an X-ray view of the sequencer for the rounds to fire out. And unlike a lot of older aircraft, this one actually had a barrel that went through to the front. But you can see what the sequencer kind of looks like for, if you remember the old aircraft that it shoot through the propellers. Very similar stuff. And this is the engine right here and the drive shaft. This is an awesome shot of the Memphis Bell, the B-17F. They have it suspended at what I would assume are the jacking points of this aircraft, but you have one back on the tail, you got one over here, and then you got one right here as well on the wing, and wheels are up. Man, this is awesome. What a sight. The Memphis Bell is really cool because it is one of the main bombers responsible for dominating Europe during World War II, helping defeat the Nazis. I mean, this one it's really awesome to see, honestly, up close. Pretty cool stuff. They do have a Tuskegee Airmen section here as well, because we all know without the Tuskegee Airmen, aviators of color wouldn't be too dominant today in the Air Force like they are. Here it is. One of the most iconic fighter jets that led the way for modern day fighter jets. The P-51 Mustang. And the cool thing is you can still see this flying in air shows or heritage flights, whatever it may be. They're still active. Now, obviously they're not military active, but they're owned just by private owners, and they'll come out and fly them at air shows. I mean, look at this scene. It's just what sets this place apart. This is another fun thing that I love coming here for, is just the different types of aviation. Like, you'll never see something like this probably ever again, but it just goes to show that, you know, when we see these new things that are kind of state-of-the-art technology and they look weird, and we're kind of like, man, what a waste of money. I mean, you can already imagine what this has led to in the world today. I mean, it literally has a flying boat hull. So you can see this nose wheel will retract up, that'll seal up, and this could literally be on water. And the engines are so high that it'll gain its thrust without sucking up any water, and then it's out of here. But this kind of stuff paves the way for new and better inventions. And then you've got the gunner bay back here, right off the side. And you do have a tail gunner. And a second side gunner. This is awesome. I do find it amazing that, you know, all of these aircraft came in matters of decades, but yet it seems like technology is kind of stalled out in modern day. And I don't know if it's because we don't want to invent anything new, or if we just kind of have it right and we don't need anything new. But it's amazing to think of all these different aircraft that were built in a matter of decades and thought up in a matter of decades just to keep improving and advancing the world of aviation. That's pretty impressive. And this is the Aviation Hall of Fame. So they said there's over 200 people inducted into the Aviation Hall of Fame. And these are the men and women that make the aviation world possible. This is the inside look of the Air Traffic Control Tower. Obviously from many years ago. See if we can see what year maybe. Oh, this says LAX 2002. Wow. This is some antiquated equipment for 2002.
Looks really open.
And they do have a simulator here that you can do simulator rides on. It does cost money. So they have simulators, they have virtual reality, they have all kinds of things you can do here that are pretty fun. Another fun thing is, for example, right here they have this fuselage cut out, and you start at the nose and you can actually walk in through the entire thing. Everything's glassed off so you can't mess anything up, but you can see the cockpit, the controls, and everything. Let's check it out. Coming through. I mean, I'm 6'4". We'll make it though. Here's some of the simulators going right now where you get in and you get to fly the aircraft. That is awesome. So, one of the nice things is they have a C-124 Globemaster 2 here, and you can come up inside this bad boy. So let's go check it out. Got these jump seats right here. Speaking honestly, jump seats haven't changed too much throughout the years. They still look relatively the same in current day airplanes in the Air Force. Well, super cool. Again, things like this, you don't get it anywhere else, man. This is awesome. Again, just to give an idea of how large this building is. I mean, check the wingspan of this aircraft. All the way over to this wall. This hangar is huge. And not only that, but they do have these inert bombs just suspended from the bomb racks. And you can just walk right in there. And they do have cockpits that you can get in as well. So that's an A7D cockpit, which would be this aircraft right here. And then immediately right next to it, they do have a cockpit that you can just sit down in and see what it's like. Now we're on to Hangar 3, the Cold War Gallery. And this is Hangar 3. This is all Cold War era. Whew, look at that bad boy right there. B-2. So what we're going to see in here is we're going to see some bombs. We're going to see some nuclear activity in here, just because this is that time frame. This is real wreckage from the Lockheed XF-90. Here you go, the LC-126, the Mark VI nuclear weapon. Look how fat that thing is. Oh my god. Just to put it in perspective, like, here's me, here's this bomb. Wow. 3,350 pounds, max speed of 175 miles an hour, and range of damage of 852 miles. This guy. Wow. Here's a de-skinned aircraft, so you can actually see all the different components that go inside to make an aircraft work. And there's a lot. This is a F-86H Sabre. Pretty cool to see those guns too. Alright, here's a Northrop SM-62 Snark. This is a nuclear deterrence missile. It is as big as an airplane itself. Wow. Here it is. The elusive SR-71. Max speed, Mach 3 plus. They won't even tell you the real speed of this thing. They'll just say, Mach 3 plus. Says range 2,900 status, or 2,900 miles. Ceiling 85,000 plus feet. This is amazing to me how secret this aircraft still is, and it's been around for a long time, and there's still so much classified information about this. It's ridiculous, but it is awesome. And here's the airplane that I grew up on in the Air Force, the F-15C model. Air-to-air combat, split tails in the back, dual engine, just a beast. They have their very own section of the Berlin Wall here. It says, from a section of the wall located between Potsdamer Strasse and Checkpoint Charlie in the city of West Berlin. Now it's time for the Space Gallery. Huge. You've got the Minuteman missiles. All these ICBMs. Like, this is the real deal stuff. I mean, obviously, if they're not nuclear, you wouldn't be in here, but you get what I'm saying. Like, these are real mock-ups of what they look like if something were to go down and we had to launch These would be sitting in silos. Gone. Wow. And just to put this room in perspective, massive. Massive! This here explains the nuclear triad, which is sea, skies, land. Three different ways you can get nuclear missiles or nuclear munitions in the air if you have to. They actually have the space shuttle mock-up open on the other side. You can walk through and see everything and what exactly it looks like inside a space shuttle. This is the YF-23. This was the competitor for the F-22. So typically when the Air Force and the government are determining which is going to be the new aircraft nowadays, they have different models that go up against each other, and then they choose from that. And this was the YF-23, so this is the one that went up against the F-22 and lost to the F-22. Though some think it should have won and should have been the next one, it lost to the F-22 and now it sits in a museum. Back here is where they have all of the presidential Air Force Ones that have been retired. Well, not all of them, but the ones that have been retired and been sent here. They have them back here. They do distinguish which president had which aircraft, and we'll go look at a couple of them real quick. There are many of these airplanes that you can go inside and walk through and see what the different Air Force Ones look like for the different presidents. And like I said, not each Air Force One is, distinctive for a specific president, but they will note in there, the specific presidents that did fly on it. So this is one of the most unique Air Force Ones, in my opinion, because A, it's like that awesome, shiny old style of airplane, but B, this is FDR's Air Force One, so Franklin D. Roosevelt's. And why I find this to be the most unique one is because they actually have an elevator inside of this one, and then you can see here, just the low seating everywhere. Very low. I mean, you're talking like 2 feet off the ground. The reason is because, as many of you know, FDR was wheelchair bound. Here's like the Oval Office version on Air Force One. That's super cool. But FDR was wheelchair bound, so he couldn't walk because he had polio. And right here, they had an elevator put into this aircraft to get him into the aircraft and out of the aircraft. And this gives you a better perspective of how low everything is, just so it's wheelchair accessible for him. I think it's amazing. And that's going to do it from the National Museum of the United States Air Force here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. What a great experience. What a great trip. It's always fun. I love coming here. I came here a ton as a kid because I grew up about 15 minutes from here, but I had a blast even coming back as an adult again. What a great place to come. Bring the kids, bring the fam if you're ever in the area. You won't regret it. And it is a free event, so you don't have to pay to get in. You just show up and you get all 4 of these hangars to walk around for free. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for more content here on Life on Video. Later.